Dobry den.
Zdravejte.
And welcome back to our little Bulgarian adventure.
Yes, this week brought to you by Scorchio.
Yeah, very hot. Very, very hot. We're supposed to have a break sometime, but not this week.
No, next week we go down into, at one point, the mid-20s.
I don't think so.
It says we're going to.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe. But it's very, very hot. Even overnight it's too hot. So.
Yeah, it's definitely warmed up here a lot.
Yeah.
Which has led to loads of fires.
Yes.
Bulgaria's had some dreadful forest fires in the last couple of weeks.
There's been none near us, you'll be
Touch
ready
wood.
to hear, so far. Yeah, it's hot, it's dry.
And some villages have been devastated, haven't they?
So if you're affected, you have our sympathies.
And there's a ban on now on all garden machinery. Don't
Yes.
use it. It creates sparks and.
It's the excuse not to cut your grass. Use
Yeah.
a trimmer. It's not a problem. We can cope with that.
Yeah, we're not using any garden machinery at the minute.
No.
Just too hot.
So yes, be careful if you're out here. It's strange times.
Yeah, very, very warm.
Hmm.
But we did start off the weekend quite cool on Sunday
Yes.
evening.
Sunday evening. We had a wonderful evening except for the result.
We finally went to Targovishti of an evening.
Yes.
After being here 4 years, we finally ventured out after 6 p.m.
And they had put up a couple of screens, but it wasn't quite how we imagined it.
Well, I don't know, it wasn't bad. There was
It wasn't
plenty
bad.
of seating.
They had plastic chairs, and the screens were like you'd show your holiday slides on. If you're old enough to remember holiday slides.
But yeah, I think it worked quite well.
It
It only
did.
went down once for a very short period of time. Very well behaved crowd.
Yeah.
Little crowd.
We went
Lots
to the
of
Point
families.
Bar in Targovishti, and we actually almost sat on a balcony like VIPs. It was very strange. But we had some food there. Lynn had a couple of drinks. I was driving.
Yeah, so we didn't have any.
And we watched the football. And all in all, apart from, like I say, the result, it was a really good evening.
Yeah, it was lovely and cool. Once you got past about 9 o'clock, wasn't
Yes.
it? And there was whole families running around.
It had a
was-
real holiday vibe. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah.
Very laid back, very relaxed, but a very enjoyable evening.
It was.
And the food was good.
Excellent.
You enjoyed your food. I
Couldn't
enjoyed
fault it.
mine. Finally ate some tarator, which is Bulgarian cucumber soup, which was. I can see why it's popular here in this weather. It's really cooling.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that.
I had a burger.
Yeah, I don't had a burger. But it was good.
Football. So yes, that was Sunday night. The rest of the week we've been working early in the mornings and then hiding. Trying to keep out of the direct sunshine. Even pool time, we're timing it so that it's when
The
the
sun's
pool is in the
behind the
shade.
walnut tree.
But we're getting through it. It's not totally disastrous for us.
Yeah. And we have ordered a shade cloth for the pool.
We have.
Which has not arrived yet, but
Not yet.
hopefully that will bring rain with it.
Oh, I expect so. Which we don't mind.
No.
We certainly need it. But yeah, so in the mornings we've carried on with the work. Lynn's been doing some work in and around the woodland and garden, clearing up and gardening. And I've carried on with the summer kitchen. And it is progressing, albeit slowly. This is where we're at now. While I'm waiting for the concrete parts for the worktop to set up properly and use them, I'll turn my attention to the walls themselves. Now, I need to render these, give them a nice finish, which can be painted, and then it won't look like a block wall. I was going to do it in using tile adhesive. Ivan from New Beginnings in Bulgaria did that on his. They've got a good finish. Well, I've got some tile adhesive, but I'm going to use that for the tiles. So I thought, what else have I got? And you know me, I've got MPI 25. Now, MPI 25 is a lime render kind of plaster material, but this is kind of what it's designed for. So I've got half a bag of that. Mix that up, try that, see if it works. I want to do the inside bits before I put the countertop on, because it's a lot easier to reach this now than it will be when there's something on top. So we'll see how it goes. It can't be that tricky, can it? So I've now put the render on the inside of all the alcoves. I've also put it on the end walls and a bit round the back, but I haven't finished that. But I wanted this bit out of the way so that when we put the top on the counter, I don't have to then try and get into the spaces to render. That far corner was tricky enough anyway, just trying to get stuff in. So our next step is to dry fit the countertops, make sure they fit, make sure they go exactly where I want them to. So to do that, I've got to take the forms off and make sure they're all okay. So this is the plan coming together. We've got the concrete worktops in place. They're all nicely situated on each on a support as was planned. I've just put the sink in place so you can see where it's going. But this will be our cooking area. We're going to bed these in on a bed of mortar. Once we've done that, build up the gaps and things, then it'll be the tile adhesive, tiles on top, build up around here. Not quite sure what we're doing there, but we'll think of something. And yes, that will be the workstation built. We just then need plumbing and electrics, and we're good to go. So there we now have the countertops cemented in on top of the supports. There's a hole for the sink here. We've tested it, it does fit, it looks quite good. This particular top, I managed to put the former upside down when I laid it. It's not a problem for the former, it's just a different finish on it. But the next step is to work out where the tiles are going, tile adhesive, put the tiles down and bed the sink in at the same time. Once we've done that, we can finish off the rendering and bit of grouting, it's ready to use. Now for the other end of the counter, we're using the large white tiles that we got in the clearance bin at Lucifer when we bought the hall tiles. For this end, we decided we're going to actually use the remnants of the hall tiles. It's a bit of a jigsaw because we've only got offcuts, but we're going to cut them to fit, mortar them in place. So we'll have one end which is the sink end with the hall tiles, and the other end which is the prep end with the large white tiles. We think it's going to look okay, but my first job now is to start cutting these tiles so that they fit in the pattern we want them to fit into. So I'll do that now. So that's the tiles, the jigsaw worked out for the tiles. You see the gap in the middle where the sink's going to sit. Now we're going to bed that in once we've laid the tiles and the tiles are solid, so that we don't affect the level of the tiles by pushing the sink and vice versa. So my next job is to put adhesive on the back of these tiles and stick them down. Normally you'd put a bed on the surface itself and put them in that. I'm going to try it a different way round because firstly I haven't got very much tile adhesive, and secondly I think I might be able to get them a bit more level by adjusting the grout on the adhesive on the back of the tile. So we'll see how that goes. That's this side tiled and set up now. Obviously it needs grouting, but we'll do the grouting at the end. You can see the gap that's been left in the sink. What we're going to do is we're going to put tile adhesive in there and actually bed the sink down into that. But I wanted these set up first so they wouldn't move when I was doing all the little bits of fiddling about. Next thing to do though is to put these large white tiles on the end here, and at the very end where we've got the equivalent of half a white tile, we're actually going to use some of these just to tie it in so that that end is the same as this end. We're going to have prep area in the middle. So I'll get on with that. And there we have a fully tiled countertop. It's still needs grouting. It's not quite as level as I would like it. I mean, it's out by a few mil. It's not a huge amount, but the effect is quite nice. I'll take you a bit closer and show you. So this end, as I've said before, we have tiles or remnants of tiles from when we did the hallway. The sink has now been set in and that is its final place. There's a bit of tidying up to do on it still, but that's where it's going. Needs plumbing in, but we are getting there. And these are the three large tiles, well, three of the four large tiles that we got on special offer for less than £1 each. They're our work prep and, well, pastry preparing area. You name it, we can do it on there. And at the very end, there's some of the grey tiles that tie in with this end. So that's done to this point. So it just leaves tiling, sorting out the front and finishing off the rendering, painting, plumbing in the sink, and that's the kitchen, well, we'll call it the kitchen island, complete.
Yes, we think the tiled worktop's going to look fine once it's grouted, and that's definitely been our budget renovation bargain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of the year.
I like those. Reuse the bits you haven't used, well, you've used the rest of in another place.
Yes, and the sink was reclaimed from the kitchen when we first got here.
Yeah, so all in all it's worked out nicely.
Yeah, the whole top's cost us about £3.50.
The top, not the walls.
Not the walls, no.
When we've finished it, we'll give you a full breakdown so you know exactly what it's cost us.
Yeah, if you're interested in that.
If you're not, we're still going to do it. So.
No, we'll only do it if people ask for it. You don't need to do it otherwise.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to know, put a note in the comments and we will do it.
And we had a trip out this morning.
Yes, right, the video's gone up a bit late.
Yeah, sorry.
We went over to Popovo. They got two markets on a Friday, the normal fruit and veg one, which was really good.
Yeah.
Lots of bargains to be had there this time of year.
Indeed.
And they have
And
the
the
other
Friday
market,
market, yes.
the Friday market, which sells a mixture of goods.
In fact, have a look at this to find out what it's like. Well, it's Friday morning. We're in Popovo. This is the Friday market. We'll start at the top end here. Now this is the end that seems to be more kind of car booty, second-hand goods, that sort of stuff. As you work your way down the hill, we'll be on the new products, that sort of thing. So I'll take you with me and we'll see what we can find. This is one of the more interesting stores at this end. If you're in the market for a wooden mask, various knickknacks, this is the place to come. There's even a couple of, I assume they're dolls push chairs or prams, but maybe not. They certainly look quite old. There's also a fair choice if you want a toy car. I'm assuming these bikes are for sale rather than this just being the local bike park. But then you've got your shoes and various other bits and pieces. We also have the usual curtain and carpet stalls. This one's doing net curtains. Quite a choice in both styles and sizes. There is of course the usual clothes stores. We're out at the second hand bit now, into where you're buying the new clothes. And if I followed along, there's another one. This is a store of all costume jewellery. As you can see, again, there's quite a selection. And of course we have a wide selection of shoes, trainers, flip-flops, you name it, they've got it. And the market just goes on and on. It's quite shady, so it's a comfortable place to actually spend an hour or two browsing the stores. You never know what you're going to find. And over here we have the plastic countertop cover stuff that we've used in our kitchen previously, and various hardware bits and pieces. Here we have a store doing handbags and hats. There's some wallets over the back and some belts. And a bedding store going from the what looks to be bridal packages all the way along to everyday use. There's also the household type stuff and chicken feeders, washing powders and liquids, and Lynn's just buying a couple of fly swats. This store here has a lot of fishing, knives, hunting gear, and this store has the rest of the fishing stuff, the nets, the reels, the lines, and even the rods. Of course, no market is complete without the obligatory tool store. But you don't only have this market here in Popovo. Your other option for a market here in Popovo, as well as the Friday market, is the fruit and veg. Now there are various stores along here, I don't know how well you can see those, but the main part is just up here. So let's go have a look around. And this is what it looks like. It goes all the way up to the end there, various stores with fruit and veg. Let's see what we can find. It has to be said, look at the size of those tomatoes. Highly impressive. Just to show you, that's my hand, that's the size of the tomato there. That's quite impressive. And let me tell you, they are absolutely delicious. And of course, you can get your watermelons. How much are they, you ask me? Well, there you go. 1 lev per kilo. And even at this far end, you've still got all the usual bits and pieces you'd expect to find in a market like this. If you're in the market for gherkins, you can buy them by the sack. Huge display of onions, as you can see there. Not bad at all. Here in the far corner is a second-hand clothes and, well, material shop, textiles I guess. Useful for your carpet sets and your clothes. Needless to say, that's where I've lost Lynn. She's got inside. It could be a while. Of course, it's not just clothes, you can get your teddy bears here. And here's quite a variety of spices sold in the bags. Don't ask me what they are, because I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, one of the things we did manage to find at Popovo Market today, which we've probably been looking for about a year,
Yes.
is the best fly swats we found, which are these ones.
Yes, and we think we got a bit of a bargain.
Yes, they were 2 for 11.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that, can you?
And they definitely work better than any of the fly swats we found.
Yeah.
And the flies being the scourge of summer here in Bulgaria.
Certainly for us, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't suffer too much from mosquitoes, but we get a lot of flies.
we do. So that was our trip around the market. One other thing to mention is we also took delivery of a package this week.
Oh yes, from Bygone's Pantries.
Yes.
A biannual English shop.
Yes, I miss things like digestive biscuits. We ran out of Yorkshire tea bags in the week, so we had to put an order in.
Yeah, and Coleman's mustard.
Yes.
which we miss.
But if you want to order, if you're over here in Bulgaria and you want to order anything, there's a Facebook page.
Yeah, and Econ everywhere.
Econ and Speedy to anywhere in the country. Prices are reasonable. I'll put a link to their Facebook page down in the description and have a look.
Yeah, you can see the prices. I think it's in the first section of the Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you click on that, it gives a price list of all
So
the goods.
if there are things you're missing, that's where to get them.
Yeah, very reliable, Gemma is.
Yeah. So I think we're probably about up to date for this week.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
No.
Looking forward to another hot week.
Yeah. But hopefully getting a bit cooler towards the end of next week.
Yes,
We'll
maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. But until then, it's time for us to say,
Stay safe.
be well.
Do skoro.
Do skoro. Was that it?